I'm Dhanushka Gunawardhana, founder of LCR Games. So let me introduce ladder system v2. So first we are going to take a look into its project structure, how we made the components and the respective implementations. Then later on we are going to migrate that project into our own project, and then I'll give a brief introduction about how we implemented its blueprints, main component and subsystem, and manager instances. Okay, so this is the ladder system project. So once you open the ladder system v2, we'll be having this ladder system root directory, and over there we have the respective blueprints, character instances, data structures that we have been used, effects, inputs, things like that, right? So this is the sample level. You can play around and see how it works. So here you can see some of the NPCs are interacting with the ladders and they are climbing it, and also the player can interact with the ladder by simply pressing E, and the player can climb up the ladder or climb down the ladder, things like that. Okay, so that's the showcase level, and if you press the tab, it will open up the pause menu. So there you can either restart the existing level, or else you can discover about the other demo levels as well. So currently ladder system v2 is having 3 showcase levels, which is entry showcase level, procedural ladders, and AI ladder interactions. So each of these levels actually showcase a specific feature of the ladder system, so that you can easily understand how we have been implemented our system. Okay, right. So considering the blueprints, mainly we have a blueprint for the procedural ladders. So in the next tutorial I'll explain you how we can use these procedural ladders. So basically all of these ladders are implemented as blueprints, which are procedurally generated based on its height. And for the characters, we have character blueprints. So as usual, we have player instances and the NPC instances. And for the components, mainly we have ladder system component. Actually, this is the parent instance to control all the ladder related animations. So it has been implemented on the base character blueprint. So if you go and check out the character base instance and its component hierarchy, here you can see we have the ladder system component. So ladder system component is actually specifying set of details at its setup category. So you can see here we have the setup category, and we implement ladder movement data table, which actually defines the animation sequences for the ladder movements, and some debug compartments where you can use to debug the ladder movements and the ladder tracing configs. So let's just say if you want to debug the ladder movements, all you have to do is simply, let's go to the player instance, maybe play instance ladder system debug, and debug the ladder movement. And if you play it, go for the ladder, press E for interact, and here you can see the ladder tracing, debug tracing space has been appearing to visualize how the calculations works on runtime. Okay, right. So just for the time being, I'm going to disable this debug ladder movement, and you can actually explore rest of the components as well. But this is the main component, which is specifically related into ladder system. Other than that, we have a set of subsystems to control the actor profiles, locomotions, master motions, NPC AI, UI, and the weapon, right? So these are like very generic components, so you can go and check out. These are used as subsystems to construct the overall ladder system. And to play the montages, we have a montage helper class, helper component as well. Right, and then we have managers. So this managers is basically specify the level context or the global handling behaviors. So for example, this level manager controls the time of the day, not necessarily the time of the day, maybe like you can go and check out it. Yeah, so here you can see it basically maintain the overall ladders ladder objects that has been spawned on the level, and based on those lists we can do some calculations by using these functions, right? So for example, like if you need to acquire a ladder, we can call this function. If we need to get the closest ladder, we can call this function. Likewise, these are some of the utilities. And npc manager is there to control the npc global state, but currently this is just a empty manager. But later on, if you want to implement custom logics, you can include those stuff within the npc manager. And then we have tod manager as usual to control the time of the day, right? So these are nothing special. These are just for the helper manager instances to create this specific level, right? So those are the core features of the ladder system. And in the next tutorial, let's see the procedural ladder blueprints so that we can create ladders within the level.